To our January meeting of the Newburg Arches School District. We'll begin with our pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In unison.
Roll call, as we have everyone here. Steve's on Google Meet. There. It may not be on yet. I may not be on at this moment. Okay, couldn't see him on at this moment. So now, that is when he's about to.
Just my love with this.
Okay. Need a motion to approve the agendas as written on the, as we have it for the meeting.
Motion.
Motion, Mr. Brookshire. Second, Mr. Thompson. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. No one signed for public comments, so we're ready to move on to consent agenda. Consent agenda, we have approval of minutes from our December meeting and our monthly financial statement. Questions on that?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Birdsall.
Second.
Second, Mr. Thompson. Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Good with the bills? Did you see the additionals that put in this afternoon? Had a few additionals put in.
Manager, now working. Okay, so I can stop saying to the other.
No.
No.
Oh.
Okay, got it. Okay,
I have one with me all the time.
okay, okay.
Yes, I saw those go through this afternoon.
Want to make sure you're aware there's a few there.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Either Mr. Birdsall,
I'll second.
second Mr. Thompson. Any further discussion on the bills? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0. Administrative reports. Have a few. So, special ed is up first. Mrs. Smith,
Okay.
you want to come up here so we can hear you better? The furnace comes on.
Your ears are bad too?
My ears are bad too.
Is that a question that you have to ask?
No, trust me, it's not.
Nice now. Don't tell everything you know.
I won't.
Just the good stuff.
You guys do have, I think, my report. I'm assuming Mrs. Kingsley put it in your folder. I swear I could update this daily and my numbers would still be messed up. But right now we do have, I think we actually now are at three students in the evaluation process right now. 2 are speech, 1 is not speech. So we have 3 students that we're evaluating as initial referrals right now. So far this year, we've released 8 students from the program. That's really been a focus for us this year. Our numbers historically have been pretty high for a district our size. And so we have looked at why that has been. And when we look at why that has been, we've had a fair amount over the years that have been qualified that didn't necessarily need to be qualified. And so we've taken a hard look at our kids and said, do they really need to be in special education or not? And what we found out is there's a fair number that didn't need to be. So we've dismissed 8 kids this year. We have 3 others that are in the works right now that will be dismissed shortly. And that's a good thing. That means that they are able to do things without special education assistance and they can do it in a regular classroom. So that is really a good thing. As of the time that I did this, we had 21 students who had moved out of the district with IEPs, and we had 14 students who had moved into the district with IEPs. We got 4 more this week that moved into the district with IEPs. So we're almost even again at this point. That number is very fluid. I'm sure you all realize we have a pretty large foster care population in our district. And with that population often comes, you know, a fair number of special services kids, and so that's often where, that fluctuation comes from. Right now, we only have 2 students who are receiving PT services and 9 students who are receiving OT services, and that's a pretty good number. That's very, very much in line with where it should be for a district our size. 2 students attending Discovery schools, and then we also handle 504 plans. You can see the numbers there. We do have 16 students currently on a 504 plan. We have not tackled those quite as much as we have SPED, because SPED was more our focus. We do have some students on 504 plan that I think in the future we probably could pare that down a little bit too, but there's only so many hours in a day, and so our focus has been more in the special education area this year. But right now we have 16 students. Actually, as of the other day, we have 17 students on a 504 plan right now. As of December 1, our child count was 53, but you'll see last year at this time it was 68. So we have dropped 15 students in the special ed program within a year. I did do a 5-year comparison at the bottom as well, so that you can kind of see where we've gone over the past 5 years. If you want to know what triggered our on-site review, just look at those 5-year comparisons, especially the 4-year. We went from 82 to 90 to 68 to 53. So what really starts to trigger those is they're kind of a couple years behind. So when you get to 90 in a district our size, they're going, whoa, what is going on in that district? And so then they start really looking at, do we need to go see them? We had our desk review, I think it was 2 years ago, we had our desk review. They found some corrective action that they needed to do there. All of that comes into play, and they say, we need to go visit that district. So I can tell you, we got our letter from DESE the other day that tells us what they're gonna pull, or what they wanna see when they're here on site in March. I have to have files uploaded to them by February 1st. They wanna see 6 files. I am extremely frustrated because of the 6 files that they wanna see, only 2 of the 6 files that they wanna see will be files that anybody who is currently here in our SPED department right now have worked on. So 4 of the 6 are from other people. So the corrective work that we've spent all year really honing in on and working and trying to correct really isn't even gonna be part of that review process. And so I'm a little frustrated by that, but it is what it is. They will be, during their on-site process, they will be interviewing us, they will be talking to us. And so I hope during that process, we will be able to share with them, listen, these are the things we're doing now. These are the steps that we've taken to ensure that we're not at 90 again. Look at our numbers now, look at all the good things we're doing now. But I do want you to know, I can't go back and correct paperwork that was done previously. So it just is what it is, and whatever they send us back, we'll fix what they tell us to fix, and we'll move on from there. And then on the next page, you have our placement counts. And again, that just tells where our kids are placed. The goal is always to have the majority of your kids inside the regular classroom 80% of the time or more. And we do a really good job of that. So hats off to everyone here, because that's fantastic. And then of course at the bottom you have all of our staff members. Our strengths, we do have a lot of really dedicated staff members here who are willing to go the extra mile for kids. They work well together as a team. They're willing to listen to direction. They're willing to take direction. They're willing to ask for direction. And the nice thing is also with SPED Track, you guys have had SPED Track for so long, it really helps with that record keeping process. I've used other platforms, and don't go from SPED Track. It is, isn't it, Darla? Do not go somewhere else, I'm just telling you. We did have some outdated speech and language testing kits that we needed to update, and we did get those purchased this year. And so with that purchase, we're pretty good on our testing protocols. So, again, for a district our size, that's not always the case. So, that's a really good strength for us this year too. Just a couple of things as far as weaknesses. Every program has them. Our teachers are still very young. They're still very inexperienced, so they still need that guidance. Again, they're willing to take that guidance, so that's fantastic. But they still need that guidance and training. One thing as a district that we still need to work on, and Mrs. Kingsley and I have talked about this as well, we still need that training just as staff overall on how to implement that multi-tiered system of support for regular education teachers, so that we are intervening with kids before we just refer them for special ed. How do we get them support? How do we get them interventions? Because hopefully we can keep them from ever being referred. But that's something that's that's missing. That's a piece we're missing that we still need to continue to work on growing. And then, of course, just the data collection piece that goes along with that. I think data collection is a bit challenging for teachers. They know how to collect data, they just don't always know what to do with it. And so, that's all I have. Any questions?
Awesome, thank you.
All right, thank you.
When's that review?
May 26th, March 26th, 27th, and 28th.
3 days.
3 days. They'll be here 3 days. And they will interview us. They will actually go into classrooms. They will,
How many are coming?
I think 3. They haven't told me for sure yet. But our South Central RPDC consultant said that the last on-site review she went to, there were 3. So I expect 3. Maybe I'll get lucky and there won't be a 3, but I don't know. And they will, like I said, they'll come on site, they'll do interviews, they'll go into classrooms, they'll talk to teachers, and by the time they leave, we'll have a preliminary report of some sort so that we will know what their thoughts are. They will have an exit conference with us before they leave. So.
Any questions?
Okay.
You're good. You can go back to work tomorrow.
I'm going to. In fact, I'm going back to work now. So if you need me, I'll be in the other hallway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next reports would be principal's reports. You have them in your packet. Mr. Talon is at a ball game, I believe. Both of them are at ball games. So that's why they're not present tonight. Plus, semester just started, so they're getting. Just started, we're gonna have 3 days. Yeah. 2, I guess, 3. Today be 3, yes. Since December. Holy cow, that's a long time before. Very long. So, yes, yeah. If you have questions for that, please jot them down and we can answer. Athletic director report is also in your packet, so. It's a child at home, so she did make it in. So, you have that report also. Any questions there, please? Go ahead and ask that. Now we move on to superintendent.
Voice Connects was in the district, last week, I think it was last week, I was the one day we were here. Did a site survey, preparation for installation of our new phones, new phone service, and then we did a call, which is a service that will provide that phone, not the new phones, but provide the actual service. We did a Zoom meeting with them today, so things are getting off the ground there. A couple of grants that we recently have secured through our computer science at the high school, which will help support us through resources and teacher training to continue to add those more higher level classes for our students have been secured. I'm working with Dr. Roller, I mentioned that to you before, I think about, he works with Howard Neely, and so looking at our budget, getting that back in an Excel spreadsheet. And really, he and I've been working back and forth on making sure that everything that we have in place this year is recognizing that it's in there and shown. And so then we'll roll it over to the new budget and be able to start looking at that. So we're gonna do a video meeting Monday, where he can really walk me through exactly every piece of it. He's been doing it for years. As a matter of fact, he was just hired for next year to be Winsville's chief executive for financial advisor, financial person. Can't talk tonight. But anyway, so he's been doing this for so many years. I feel very confident. I worked with him in the past too. So that's, I'm looking forward to learning a lot from him. District enrollment, just wanted to give you an update, but I didn't put it on the sheet. January of 22-23, we're at 404. Right now, currently, we're at 359. Give you a little idea. It looks like both those numbers creep up just a little bit, but we're still maintaining that loss of students. Let me talk a little bit about just how, retaining staff is a big piece. We talk about it frequently as an administrative team. And one of the things that I feel like is very important in retaining staff is making sure they have the tools that they need. In our classrooms, we don't have a well-written curriculum. We have pieces of things that people have done. And so we've gotten together as an administrative team and worked on what backward design looks like. We've got pieces in place as far as our documentation that we're going to be using to collect for teachers to look at standards, for them to put standards into units. We have a unit form that we've built. We will be then putting them into units, looking at assessments, looking at what pre and post tests are. We'll be talking about priority standards and the value that they have within the curriculum, and then backfilling it with activities and structural pieces and so forth. And so we're starting that with our staff in a couple of weeks here at our next PD day. Something I'm really looking forward to. I know it's something that the staff wants. They've talked to me about it at different times. That we're all kind of going in different directions, and we need to come together, and we need to eventually have a living document that is our curriculum that we have housed on, electronically, and then as somebody exits our district, part of our onboarding is that we get them acclimated with what that currently is, and what our standards are, and what our assessments are, and how we do that. Not that that can't still tweak and change, because teachers are gonna bring different things to the table, but we have something that lives and continues on. It also gives us something that as we receive end of course and map data, we can go back to our curriculum and say, these are holes in our data, here are things that we see are missing. Where is that in our curriculum, and where is it, how are we gonna get it in there? And so we've gotta build something that we can start assessing. So I'm excited about that. I'm tickled with the administrators that we came and spent last Monday and worked for many hours going over and understanding how that process goes and how we will implement it. We're gonna get together again one more day before we have that staff PD day on the 29th, I believe, so we can start getting our heads around how that's gonna look. We are also analyzing, I don't know if I put it in there, but we are also looking at all of the EOC and map data, and we're analyzing all of that and looking for where our low areas are. We'll be highlighting those. And then we're gonna look at the most tested items. And then what we do is we compare those two pieces and we create something I call the gold sheets, which is your gold. If you know what we tested low in and we know what we're tested the most in, and those two match up, if we don't do anything better this year, that should be the thing we do better. So those are things that we're really working heavily on, and then we'll be getting in play over the next few weeks. So I'm excited about that because it's what our kids need, it's what our teachers need, but I also think it gives the teachers some of the tools that I think they're wanting to be able to be a part of, and then what we'll create is time for them to work on things as we give them guidance and grow that. Just underneath developing educational programs, I just mentioned again about that, basically the STEM grants that they're securing, because I think those are important for our high school. Buildings and grounds, just being safe. Lonnie and Carl work closely together with myself as we look at temperatures and snow and safety around our building, and they've done a great job of that. Alice training, want to mention that to you. We will be having that, and I don't think our staff has done that before, at least not in the recent past. So we've done Alice training, and so that I just confirmed again with Phelps County Sheriff's Department today. That'll be on the 29th, and I think that's going to be very enlightening and good practice for us to go through and begin understanding. And Debbie Bowles and I met for a while this afternoon. We've talked through what that could look like and what it could look like next year, and what kinds of things we need to be thinking about, and how we might pull together our safety measures a little bit better, what we just need to be doing, how we'll bring that about. So, Alice training on 29th. Culture, just want to mention that at our PD day, we recognized 27 staff members with perfect attendance in December. That's up quite a bit from the past 2. So I'm tickled with that because that's December. That's December. That's a month when people are sick and out and different things. So I was really glad to see that number increase. Of course, we also provided lunch and breakfast. We did our affirmations that we go through, which is a really positive experience. Every year, every time, I really enjoy that. I think the staff it's a bonding time, and it's really been positive for us. Lower elementary planned a team building activity. It really brought about a lot of smiles and laughs and participation, and so we really enjoyed that, and I think it really set us up nicely for our return in January. So, any questions? There's not a lot there to do this time, but yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kingdom. Okay, thank you. Facilities, where we at?
Progressing quite a bit. This is one of the times I went and said, "This drain, how's it going?" She goes, "We're getting there." So I thought we're really making some progress.
Everybody's
She's doing
coming.
pretty good. Yes, it is. Now, what we did notice,
Pretty quickly.
as sad as this is, districts are the same week as the FFA week. And so we worked with Mrs. Benson to see like, what's the best night or evening to maybe do an open house. And I don't know that would be a good time to do it. So we're kind of rethinking that in the first week of March. Maybe we'll get us out of some of that. I don't know.
Maybe.
But that could be a better time for us to plan it,
Maybe.
because we don't want our kids to be here trying to do an open house when our boys or our girls are playing. What's that? Weather as well. And so we were talking about that, and so she's looking at her calendar to see if maybe we can nail down maybe that first week in March. It would be a little bit better for our district.
Our district contest will be in, maybe
It'll be
that's it.
first up is in April.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah, it's maybe
It's April.
around the 20th-ish.
I know Bob,
Record books and stuff in March, so.
They're working on that right now.
Anyway, yeah.
Bob's working on getting, rest of the equipment going, put together all those pieces. Ms. Strain's planning to reach out to a former ag teacher to get him in to work with her a little bit on anything she doesn't understand how to use. So, they felt like pretty well in hand this time. I got some good feedback, I felt like. And I know Bob spends many, many days down there continuing to do things, so I think we got somebody kind of designated to get those projects completed. Yeah.
Questions on facilities? For our action items, we have to approve the language. In the ballot, everybody look at that. Good with that language.
Got everybody's name spelled right, correct?
Look at your name to make sure it's spelled.
Sorry, Dusty.
That's just.
Oh, well,
That's all it takes.
that's right, and check and you double check.
Good to me.
Good to me.
Motion to approve the ballot language, second by Ms. Wells. Someday we'll put out. Anything further? Any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please raise your hand. Motion carries 6-0.
Is it the 18th?
2, 3. Actually, 15.
I knew it was a team.
I will not be here on the 15th either. My son's having his wisdom teeth pulled in Joplin, and I'll have to go there to take him. That isn't, you guys do whatever you want, but I would not be available that day.
That's a horrible deal in itself.
I will not.
What's your thoughts on moving to the next week?
I don't, that's fine by me, 22nd, that actually helps her with bills a little bit, I think.
It does help.
It really does.
Yeah.
Um,
The 15th is tough. I don't know how it's working out like that all the time, though.
It's 2 months in a row, that those,
Yes, it does.
first has been on Thursday.
Yeah.
That leap year.
Yeah, leap year next time too. Amy, is the next week okay?
22nd.
Yeah, I think so, I don't think that there's
Yeah,
anything,
no, it looks good to me, 22nd.
because I don't have anything
So
on
we
the
could
calendar.
do anything, we could do it 20, if we need to on Tuesday.
District is the only thing. we can do.
You just can't, yeah, you just don't know.
There's no way,
Well,
there's no
that's
way
the only thing
to plan
that
that.
potentially be on here that I'm seeing.
What's your thoughts? What would you like to do?
22nd is fine.
Okay? Okay, so we'll set it for the 22nd, and we'll probably need to post that when we can, because it'll be different. Okay. Okay, anything further for the open session? If not, I'll need a motion to go into executive. Motion, Mr. Brookshire, second, Mr. Thompson. Do a roll call, Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Wells?
Yes.
Shushan? Brookshire? Yes. Birdsong? Yes. We're all 6-0. We're ready to go. Thanks for coming. Thanks for being there. See you next month.